Hey, hi everyone. Hi Richard. Hi Olivier.
Hey, thanks for having
Hey,
us.
how's it going?
I'm fine, thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
That's right.
um, Happy New Year to everyone. I see there is a few people already here. So today we'll talk about warm outreach, right? I'm Eloise. I'm building partnerships at La Growth Machine,
I'm
which,
fine, thank
which
you.
is a
Happy New
sales
Year.
automation
Happy New
tool.
Year.
That's right.
And I will invite today the Swarm and also Moxie GTM, which is an agency led by Richard, to talk about how to make intent more accurate to build an outreach strategy that's drive leads and revenues. And tell me in the chats also if you have any question. I will stop the speakers asking them all the question. Let me make this session as dynamic as possible, so don't be shy. There is a little chat button. I say hey here, and yeah, don't hesitate to ask any question about the tools. If you have a question about how tools and the playbook and the strategies, we will deep dive in. Oliver, Richard, I'll let you introduce yourself for to begin.
Awesome. Richard, I'll let you start and then I'll take over with some slides. Go for it.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Richard Purcell. I'm the founder of Moxie GTM. Really glad to be here and thanks for the invite. My background is I spent the last 12 plus years at enterprise SaaS, helping 5 different early stage SaaS companies go from 0 to 1. And during that time, I've just seen some patterns about what works and what doesn't work when it comes to outbound. And I really believe the holy grail of outbound is to combine intent signals with relationship mapping. And so just try to find someone who's already showing buying intent and lean on an existing relationship to get in front of that person. And so everything I've been doing is tied to that first principles thinking. And so that's why I'm excited to partner with the Swarm and La Growth Machine to execute these types of playbooks.
Amazing. And I'm Olivier. I'm co-founder, chief growth officer at the Swarm. I've been in California for like 15 years. I'm from France originally, so bonjour everyone if you're joining us from France. I've ran a marketing agency and growth agency for 7 years before starting the Swarm. So I work with hundreds of startups setting up their growth funnels. I really specialize in like the 0 to 1 sort of like early stage startup, like setting things off the ground and see what works. And then I've been building the Swarm for the last 4. So excited to show you where we have today and how it connects with Clay, Claude, and of course LGM. Let me share my screen, get a few slides to just like get us like situated, and then we of course we have like the fun stuff, a live demo. So okay. Quick words on the Swarm just to again like understand what we're talking about. We have built a database of 600 million people with different signals, daily job changes. We have LinkedIn posts as well. We have deep profiles on people, live enrichment. We also have companies. And then on top of that database, that's like a typical sort of like enrichment database, we've built a network mapping technology. So I'll go into the details of how it works, but high level, basically mapping out a company network. So the people in and around the company and who they know, based on work history, based on college alumni, based on investors. That's the database. It's accessible via API and connectable with other tools. And then there's the SaaS app that I'll show as well that has integrations, of course, with Clay and then Clay to LGM. And then there's a new like intro as a service that we launched to help companies that really want to install a warm intro motion in their company. This is kind of like the outcome that we all dream of when we think about like warm intros. This person, Gabriel, shared with me, landed a $300,000 deal with a leading pharma company from a warm intro. They added their investors to the Swarm. They mapped their networks. They found an intro. They asked the investor for the intro. The investor said, "Yeah, actually, I know that person." They connected. the end of the outcome here is a $300,000 deal, right? So this is what we're trying to replicate and do that at scale. So I'll share how. But first, a few words about LGM. Elise, you want to take this one?
Yeah. So I don't know if you are already familiar with La Growth Machine, but it's a sales automation tool, a prospecting tool, all in one platform. You can create and build your list on La Growth Machine. Of course, you can import also your existing list from CSV, CRM. We have a lot of integration and option to import and to build your list. I just put on this slide on the left side the import from LinkedIn intent, because I think it's super accurate and aligned with today's subject. But it's just one of several example and ways to add people to your list in La Growth Machine. So yeah, on LinkedIn, for example, for about interest and intent, you can add from La Growth Machine anyone who like a post, any post, yours, competitors one, anyone who comments a post, anyone who registered to a LinkedIn live event. And then when you have build your list, you have also lookalike option, etc. You have your multi-channel automation sequencer that you can build from scratch or from our catalog of different sequence, and with a lot of integration with Clay, Zapier, Make, and of course all the CRMs. You will have all the option to drive all your to run all your strategy, outreach strategy, with also a unified inbox to centralize all the reply and qualify them. Just about multi-channel automation, we'll talk about email, LinkedIn, X, call. And when you talk about LinkedIn, and maybe this is the second slide, we talk about LinkedIn DM, but also LinkedIn voice. And I will finish with that, about LinkedIn outreach. Two features that make really the difference for replies rate are using the voice notes, the AI voice notes, or just the regular voice notes. So you can just add at scale a voice in your outreach seconds. And also about DM, this is the slides just after. You will have the option to split a big DM, a big text with 5, 6, 7 lines into 2, 3 messages, which is super impactful and powerful, because it's more human. It's like really mimicking human behavior, and also any message is a notification. So we have more than 20%, 17% more reply with this type of strategy, with this real chat mode feature. Yeah, that's all for it's just a few highlights on what La Growth Machine can do, but really aligned with today's subject.
Awesome. So on topic, referrals is what we're trying to do, and beyond referrals, it's like influence. Like, how do we influence a deal top of the funnel, like we're gonna see today, but also like down the funnel? And we know that like relationships and leaning on that relationships yields the best return on investment, hands down. It's an asset, your relationships around your company, that's unique to your company, and that no one else can use. It's like your relationships and the relationships of the people who invested in you, and it's the highest performing channel above all. But it's also just predictable. Like we do, most people like get referrals or ask for an intro very opportunistically, very manually. You can try to kind of hack it with LinkedIn, but that doesn't really scale. And so the goal here is like, how can we do something that's more scalable? And of course, like use tools like LGM that let us like send like campaigns on autopilot. So those are the pieces of the puzzle for today: the Swarm, Clay, LGM for me, and then Richard will go over a Claude workflow, which is really exciting. So the Swarm is going to map your connectors. Connectors are people who have the relationships, so they can be your executives, your investors, your advisors, your partners, your customers. It's a long list actually of people who may, who know of your company and are interested in its success. So that's my definition of connector. And for each connector, we map their work overlaps. So that's current and former colleagues. Education overlaps, that's same year, same school alumni. Shared investors between companies. And that's done passively. So the first three on the left are done passively. You don't need to, ask the permission to the person or whatnot. It's just like you add them to your Swarm account. We map their former colleagues, school alumni, and shared investors between companies. Then if you invite them, they can connect their LinkedIn and they can connect Gmail if they use Gmail. And then we also layer the email and calendar contacts. So you kind of have a person's, layers of a person's networks all combined, all aggregated, and ready to use in the Swarm. Then I'll go over to like how do you pull that onto Clay, and then how do you pull that on LGM.
Olivier, if I could just chime in on that first part of what you described to just help people understand the power of this type of relationship mapping is, if you look at all the six different relationship types on there, what I've seen is the strongest signal is work overlaps and the weakest signal is LinkedIn connection. I think we all see that probably 90% of our LinkedIn connections are fairly random, but anytime that you can identify a work overlap, meaning that same company, same city, same department for 2 or plus more years, like if you see that signal, that's a strong indication of relationship strength, and those are the relationships that you should prioritize. And also, as you were talking about the different relationship types, you gave an example about someone able to close a deal by mapping their investors, their investor network, which is really powerful. But something to keep in mind is there's a low ceiling on the network of your investors, because you might have, let's say, 10 investors, and let's say each of them has 10 leads, but then you could quickly get to the ceiling of those 100 leads. And if we really start to think about how you make referrals more predictable and repeatable, it's about identifying relationship types that are more repeatable. And so one example of that is, let's say you're power users of your product or champions of your clients. You can imagine that every single month you're going to have new customers, new product users. So there's a way to really activate those different relationship types that are more repeatable. So every single month you're just doing a rinse and repeat of that process of just activating those folks who love your product and getting them to become referrals. And then I'll show in my demo exactly how you could make that repeatable. But I just want to take a moment to talk about the power of that first part of your slide.
Nice. Thanks for double clicking on that, Richard. Love it. And yeah, those are just the different ways you can look at that data. And there is like tons of plays. Today we're going to show you. I'm going to show you one play. Richard's going to show you another play. Again, like I think only creativity really limits what we can do here. So try it out and go for it. But this is what I'm presenting now. That's the outcome on LGM, the message that goes to a lead. This is like a cold outbound that is warmed up by a relationship. So you've seen on the slide from Eloise, you can like stack signals, different intent signals and whatnot on LGM, build your list on LGM. In this example here, I'm reaching out. I made this company, French HR, co-founder, helping companies with HR compliance. And then I'm name dropping basically like one of the person, Scott Lees here, that the recipient may know. And I can even incorporate like more details if there is like a work overlap, if they work together for X amount of years and so on. This data is available. So here I'm warming up a cold or semi-cold message with a name dropping. So that's one of the plays that you can do. How do you get to this? So it starts on the Swarm.
Yeah, can you just click on the Holo this time, or Holo and revisit the picture in picture? Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
Thanks.
Okay.
And yeah, because maybe because it's we can see the screen clearly with that.
Can you see this? Can you see this okay now? I mean, there is like. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
No. Can you minimize that? Yeah. Yeah. Here.
There we go.
Perfect.
Awesome. Yep. So yeah, this is the outcome. This is the campaign like I've set up and run on LGM
Yeah.
that essentially like adds the person and then sends this message. Again, you can do a lot more upstream and downstream of that, and branch out in different options. But I'm focusing on how you get to this. So it starts on the swarm. You on your swarm account, you would add your connectors. Again, connectors are people who are can be employees, they can be investors, customers, um, portfolio of other investors of yours, advisors, or others, right? So people that are, if you ask them for an intro or if your name drop them, they are interested in the success of your company. They're close to you, and they're happy to help. So it can be a long list. Obviously, like in our example, this is our account. We have 350 connectors, right? So again, adding like those folks. Customers are an awesome, you know, type is an awesome type, obviously, because they've experienced your product, right? So if you can add your customers, you then see the network of your customers. You can go and tap into that, obviously. So your happy customers should be here. I like to emphasize that one because customer-led growth is super powerful. So now that I've done that, the swarm is automatically mapping former colleagues, school alumni, share investors, and then for some who've been invited, LinkedIn plus email plus calendar contacts, like I said. And on Clay, we have this native enrichment. So if you look up the swarm on Clay, you'll find us. It's a native enrichment that lets you find warm intros to a company. If you have a list of companies, like in this example, I'll show, and then find intro to person. If you have a list of people, you're trying to see like, do we have an intro to this specific person? Of
Mm.
course, company is going to yield more result because it's a bit broader, right? Than like a single person. But you can also run those two in parallel, and you can see, do we have an intro to a person? If not, do we have an intro to someone else in the company, in the C-suite or whatnot? So here I took, for this example, I have 15,000 companies. Those are the Martech map from Scott Brinker. If you're familiar, every year it comes out. It's like all of like the Martech companies, and you can see it's filtered, so everything is green here. But I got like, it's about 12%. So 12% of those 15,000 companies we have a potential relationship with. So this is what the swarm will show you. You have on Clay, you'll have, this is the person that works at Orem, Brandon. This is the title of Brandon, and then this is the connection with your connector. This is the relationship, I should say, with your connector. So here
Okay.
there's an intimate connection between Stephen and Brandon. Here there is a work overlap between Kat and Kritika at TCS. There's an email between myself and Marius, etc. So you can see how the data gets combined. If you dive in, you can see more details about, for example, how long was the overlap, where was the company that they worked with together, and you can see like more detail in the cell. And then, of course, there is like a connection to LGM here, and I'm pushing um, those into LGM, into my campaign. So connected my LGM key to Clay to be able to create leads in my audience on LGM for my campaign. And then I'm pushing basically the LinkedIn URL, the person's name. I'm getting the relationship. So here I'm gonna get like the company, and then I'm gonna get the name, the work email, and then I'm gonna get like the title, and then here as a custom attribute, I'm getting the connector name. So now I can name drop, like for example, back to LGM, I'm like name dropping that person. Um, this is my example name dropping again. Like you can do this with inbound leads when you reach out to them. You can do this further down funnel. You can do this. You can stack multiple signals and then incorporate relationship in it. Creativity is really the only limit. So I encourage you to try out like different ways that you can do this. And I'll hand it to Richard to show you the cloud flow.
Yep. And if you want to test La Growth Machine, I just dropped a link in the chat, but also I displayed it on the screen. And as the same, you can absolutely try the Swarm for free. So I will give you also the link to try it out. If you are an agency, a qualified agency, you can just also contact Olivier Roth on LinkedIn.
Just checking. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So as I preface this demo, I'll expand on what Olivier was saying around how I see the future of go-to-market. And when I think about old go-to-market, it was about multiple tabs, needing to hire paid specialists and needing to click through a bunch of different things to get an output. Where the future of go-to-market is having a conversation with data, fewer tabs, and having more of a unified user experience, and less need for a paid specialist. And the Swarm is really at the forefront of this future of go-to-market because of what they've done to connect the Swarm with Claude. And so right now you're seeing I'm using Claude Desktop, and I've connected the Swarm's API to Claude. And what used to take multiple tabs and a bunch of different clicks can now be done with just one prompt in about 4 to 5 minutes. And so again, before doing something like this, would not only take multiple tabs, but it would probably take a minimum of 1 hour to set up. And so what I've done is I've uploaded my target accounts as a CSV into this Claude thread. I've also uploaded a template we've used in the past for relationship mapping. And the scenario for this thread is that we've identified champions of our product. We've also identified power users of our product. And what we're trying to do is every single month, identify a new cohort of product users or customers to be able to scale referrals. So this month I'm saying, okay, well, let's look at this existing cohort of product users. And I'm saying, I uploaded these product users as connectors into the Swarm. And then I said, number one, use the Swarm's API to find warm intro paths through my connectors to the target accounts that I uploaded. Then I said, after that, create email and LinkedIn templates based on the best practices. And as the example here, I'm using the Swarm as the ICP, let's say we're working with them as a client. And then I'm saying, after you've done that, download these leads as a CSV with the appropriate variables, because then we'll just upload this as a CSV into La Growth Machine. And then finally, even after we've completed this task, I'm telling the machine to keep doing the same play every single month to make it repeatable. And instead of kind of doing this live, because the actual output would take about 4 or 5 minutes to get through, I'm showing you a prompt I put in just before this call. As you can see how it's thinking, it's first looking at the target account. It's mapping the network of those connectors. It's finding different warm intro paths, and then it's creating the CSV, and then it's creating the templates. It also did a quick analysis to help me understand, how many leads were generated from this one lead gen exercise. And then it says it's going to keep doing this every single month. But give you an example about what the output looks like. So this was the templates that it generated. And as you see here, it's going to just lean into the best practices and the training data that I gave it. And so, again, you're really trying to just find a way to lean on those existing relationships. And so an example here is, let's use someone that works at your target account that used to work with one of your customer champions and says, hey, I saw that you worked with Olivier at Salesforce. I work with Olivier on relationship intelligence data. I thought it would make sense. And then maybe the first DM is something that looks something like this, saying, hey, are you currently mapping warm intro paths in your target accounts? Quick blurb on what you do, and then referencing it back to that shared connection. And so these types of campaigns historically have a minimum of 2x higher conversion rates than the status quo. So that's what it looks like in terms of the templates. And again, these templates are easily uploaded into LGM with the appropriate variables. And then in terms of what this looks like from a lead list standpoint, So this was the output from this Claude thread, and I've highlighted the variables are the most important. But as you can see here, and just in this one prompt, it gave me the name of the lead, gave me their title, LinkedIn URL, it gave me their email. And again, this email is validated coming from the Swarms API. Gave me the name of the connector, and then it also gave me the relationship type in terms of how they know each other from a work overlap. It scored the relationship, based on strength, and then it also is sharing the shared company where they worked. And so again, you can imagine how this column here is just seen as a variable tied to the template that I shared before. And so again, just in one prompt, you could get this output that would normally take in multiple tabs in a minimum of an hour to put together, but now you have done this in about 3 to 5 minutes.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's the future. Not the future, it's happening now.
Yeah, we had a lot of question about how to qualify leads with LLM, and I think your use of Claude is super impressive and super efficient. Yeah. We have a question from Julia. Will you later share the prompt with us, Richard?
Yes. Yeah, I can even share it now.
Yeah, and yeah, the campaign also we can share it. The campaign Olivier just showcased just before. Do you have any question? Or the question from what you saw just before? We had a question from Anatole asking if Swarm is to be leased, or maybe we can just sum up again how to use for what to use Swarm, for what to use Lagros machine, right?
Yeah. So on the Lagros method is really going to be the tool that you will use to orchestrate all of your signals, right? Build your list and then orchestrate the outreach, whether it's like X, LinkedIn, email, call, that you've seen like AI, voice and so on. So it's really the orchestration tool. This super toolkit, right, that you can use. And then the Swarm is like, we specialize in relationship mapping. We specialize in like that relationship data and being that layer that you can then pull into other tools, and you can pull into Clay, into Claude, and then push that back into LGM. One of the biggest confusion, I want to just like repeat that, is like, is this my LinkedIn connections, or are you guys scraping like LinkedIn connections of my folks? And the answer is no. The default mappings are going to be a person's former colleagues. That's what we call work overlaps. College alumni, like same year, same school alumni, and shared investors between companies. Those are the mappings that we do. And then if you invite someone, you can get also their LinkedIn connections layered on top of that, and email and calendar contacts optionally if they connect their email. And so now that gives you like all of those kind of like dimensions of the person's network. And like Richard said, it's like a LinkedIn connection alone it's too loose. LinkedIn is great to build an audience and for this and for learning and sharing and so on. It's just not really like where your network lives, which is a bit something we have to unlearn. Like LinkedIn is where we all kind of like professionally grew up with, right, over the last 20 years. It's just an audience tool and a great like advertising and hiring tool. It's not where your real network is, and that's where we're trying to do is be that network, data layer. Hope that answers the questions. But yeah, any other questions, Richard, I can help?
Because we are restreaming it on LinkedIn Live, we had a question before, like, is there an LLM that you can interact with to query the database? It was just before Richard demo this. So I don't know, Richard, because his name is Richard, but how Richard demo that. So I don't know, Richard Pierrot, if you are still there, but I think that this use case that Richard demonstrate with the Claude might maybe shed some light on what you were asking about. Yeah. Any other question? Yeah, from the looks like a powerful connection. Is it easy to add multiple LinkedIn senders on like Roth machine? Yeah, you have identities, and you can just plug um, different identities to your account. So yes, absolutely.
That's one play I was thinking about, like presenting. It's more an advanced play. So for the webinar, I thought we sort of like position the tool, and but I
Yeah.
think what you're referring to, JJ, here is maybe sending on behalf of.
Uh-huh.
And if you have like 5, 10 champions, maybe some people that are already giving you referrals, the happiest customers, or people that are extremely well connected in your target accounts. Yeah, you can totally, with their approval, obviously, like then send outreach to their network that you've mapped with the swarm on LGM and so on. That's like a super awesome play. Of course, like don't do it without their permission. It's like it doesn't. That's a no-no. But like, yeah, yeah, that's something that you can do, and that sort of like gets you their brand authority or their name and stuff across, and it's an awesome play. So
Yeah.
try it out. Lots to do. Lots to try out.
Dimitri said I've got 100 of LinkedIn connection actually.
Me too. Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, guys, if you wanted to add something, but if we have some minutes left, if Anatole or Dimitri, you have a specific use case to share with us, um, let's share some challenges, and maybe we can help. I mean, we have tools expert and agencies here with three experts. So if in the chat you want somebody is facing specific things, just give us some context, and maybe we can unlock somebody. Uh, we can try. Dimitri says, so basically I need clay, then swarm, and LGM. Depends of what you want to build, but I mean, maybe Richard, you want to answer this question.
All those are really great tools. My preference is on Claude, which is connected to the Swarm, and then taking the leads that are generated from Claude and uploading them to Log Growth Machine. I like to just optimize on fewer tab switching as possible. And so this is just what I've seen work best for me.
Yeah, thanks.
You, and I'll add that like you could connect the swarm with LGM directly if you wanted to, because like there's of course like an API integration that's available on LGM, and we have an API, an open API at the swarm, right? So you can connect. Of course, it's like a little bit more just like technical, but you can connect directly and retrieve directly, and push data directly from swarm into LGM. um, if you want to do that, that's possible too. But clay is really pretty nice because you can like layer, you can run the table on schedule, you can layer other signals and so on. So
Yeah. Also,
cool
Dimitri, you bring up a really good point about how you have a lot of leads in your CRM. This is actually one of the best use cases for warm intros or relationship mapping. And how we do it for a lot of our clients is we help them prioritize existing leads and deals in their CRM based on existing relationships. And so what they'll do is they'll just try to identify close loss, lapsed leads, or maybe just stuck deals and figure out if they can increase velocity by tapping into one of their existing relationships. And so, I think that the highest ROI you'll get from relationship mapping is with people already in your CRM and less net new. I mean, it works with net new, but if you want the fastest path to ROI, look for accelerating existing pipeline with relationships.
Thank you very much, Richard. I will just so about will this be recorded? It's recorded, and you will have the replay. About a question about the voice notes. Rob say these have been working really well for me manually, but you mentioned AI voice notes. Can you talk a little bit more about the stack and setup for accomplishing this? Yeah, I will just share my screen, and So as you can see, here we go. There is a slideshow. Do you see my screen?
Hmm. Yes.
Yeah. So, sorry. Um, you have the ability to use voice notes inside LGM, and you can use AI to clone your voice, meaning the first step will be to record your main message, meaning without saying, "Hey, Martin," but really like the main message, like, "I don't know if you saw my last message, but I think you should enjoy. You should have a look to my um, guide playbook that I just published on LinkedIn, whatever." And because you just recorded a voice, the AI will clone your voice to add, "Hey, Martin, hey, first name, hey, Martin, hey, Claudia, hey, Richard." So this is a way to, yeah, personalize, but at scale, your LinkedIn voice messages. Um, Also, another question, maybe maybe Olivier, about the Joseph question, you can just give some clues.
Yeah. Yeah. So the way we see it is you run this continuously. I mean, every month you would like send like a certain number of like outreach, right, and a certain number of like intro requests to your connectors to get like introduced and so on. The swarm, like if you think of this example I shared, we have 350 connectors. It yields like 700,000 relationships, and of course they're scored, so not all of them are like warm and so on, but like the number of relationships, the number of different plays you can run is sort of like endless, and we keep coming up with like new plays, which is awesome. So but yeah, the goal is like not to just like run this once to blast all of your network and get all the leads, and it's really like sort of thing you do in parts. And then as you grow, you add connectors, you get new customers, you get new partners, you get new advisors, you get new investors, you add them as connectors. Maybe you remove the connectors that are just opting out, or they're just not interested, or they're just not replying to intro requests. So yeah, it's not a one-off. It's an it's an ongoing channel. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. A question from Anatole, super interesting, I think. Have you tried this playbook with influencers instead of power user? For example, one influencer expressed a hot take, and you reach out saying, um, with this warm connection in your ICP, saying, "Oh, I saw you might know this influencer," and start a conversation.
Yeah, I haven't personally like tried this one, but I think it could be a great one. It's just a matter of like, if you know the influencer, if they know of you or not. You just want to be mindful. We're talking about people's relationship, right? So that's where like you got to be high touch. Whatever you do, be high touch, or have that like mindfulness about like what you do. Because you could like say, oh, you used to work with this person, and so on, and get a response, but then like it might backfire too if if the influencer is like, say, look, don't use my name or whatnot. So if you do a lot of like those at scale, getting people's opt-in um, works better. And again, the list of people that know of your company that are interested in success is already long, so you don't necessarily need to go and name drop folks that don't know of you or whatnot. But it's all about like context, being
Yeah.
mindful. And I think which is that's true is like every outbound campaigns out there, to keep this human in a way.
Yeah, I will. I
Yeah.
prefer to talk about messaging than copywriting, right? Because there is more sense in messaging. Um, yeah, Richard, you
Yeah, I would
wanted.
also say that if you want to consider someone your connector that you lean on to do outbound, to make sure you get them to opt in. So even if I'm talking about, leveraging power users, it's highly recommended that you get those folks to opt in, because there could also be privacy concerns if you just decide to map their network and then use their name without their permission. And what I mean by thinking about loyal social media followers as a repeated relationship type. So let's say you're generating content, you're generating a lot of followers. You're going to start to see that every month you can identify certain of your followers that are engaging more, and you could find a way to build a relationship with them over time, whether it's just like through the DMs, and then you could find a way to activate them into referrals. But you at least want to like get their permission. But that's another example where every single month you're generating new followers, new people you could define as like raving fans or loyal followers, and then turn them into referrers that you could reference their name and you're outbound.
And you can compensate them. This fits into your affiliate, like your affiliate campaigns and programs that you may have. It's just sort of like something to think about. Your investors, your executives inside of your company and so on, like they probably like don't need like cash compensation. Maybe your users, like that just fits in perfectly with your existing referral program. Maybe there's like non-cash, the non-monetary compensation or recognition, or some sort of like content exchange. So it depends on like who you're building your campaign around, obviously. But yeah, opt-in, like especially for your users or any external stakeholders, it's always going to be better to opt-in, get their green light, and then you can sort of like lean on their influence.
Great. Maybe two last question from Mark. Any tips on finding investors, family offices, typically obscure and secretive ICP?
On finding them in terms of like finding them, well, I mean, the Swarm API will have that data baked in if you want to check it out. We have like fundraising data, so we have a lot of like family offices like to find them, and then to get intros to them. I mean, it's the same sort of like same sort of play. Like for fundraising, like obviously like we're talking about like growth and outreach for sales here, but there is like other use cases, and fundraising is one great one, because the way you fundraise typically is like you ask your existing investors for intros to the next investors. It's very like a herd mentality, and people know each other, and it's a close-knit thing. So that's just one other use case of this relationship data. Hopefully that answers the question.
And Joseph asked, how were the data sets built? Do you scrap it yourself or just buy existing data sets? LinkedIn data sets are notoriously shady,
Yeah.
and they have lawsuits showing
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So we have multiple providers that we waterfall, and so we have like job change monitoring on search engines. We have like some also like website based like scraping, and of course like a lot of like the initial like people data is going to come from LinkedIn, but it's like multiple providers that are opting in for us to like use their data and have like agreements with them. We're also like a data broker in like 7 states, GDPR, CCPA compliant. So we really like the last 4 years building this in parallel. I've built like data deletion request workflows and all the non-sexy things to be as compliant as possible in this ever-changing space. But yes.
Yeah, this is a challenging thing, and we do have the same at like Growth Machine. We do have waterfall enrichment with 9 providers, verificator, email verifier, and but yeah, we do have to be super precise and safety is really the key, I think. Yeah. Any other question? Dimitri say, I have a lot leads in my CRM. That's enough. I don't need new leads. Yeah,
That's amazing.
that's amazing. So you have to qualify it. You
Yeah.
have to nurture.
implement, nurture,
Yeah.
want like um share them with your friends if you have too many. No,
Yeah.
but like that's like yeah. I mean, this can be again. I think like Richard, you touched on that, but like um, you can warm up like existing leads with
Mhm.
relationships as much as you do with like a case study or other trust indicators. Like relationship data is one of those like things you can tack on top of that to nurture, warm up, resurrect, whatever it is. So there is the top of the funnel play that's pretty obvious, and that's like where to start. But then this is kind of like a full funnel play, even post sales, to
Mhm.
maximize your relationships inside the company. I mean, we have customers that are like more like enterprise sales and like really want to make sure they maximize like their relationships within the company. So that's just another just another use case to zoom out. But yeah, congrats if you have like
Yeah.
if you leads.
And also you can use that as a solid base to then find lookalikes, and and the icebreaker will be that you have already these clients, and you already get these results when you're when you worked with this kind of clients, and then have similar leads and clients at the end. Yeah. And of course update the qualification, maybe some guys changes from a job to another one. They can be your champion in other companies. So yeah, a lot of things to do with an existing CRM.
Hmm.
um, I think we like just deep dive in a lot of things. Thank you very much, Richard and Olivier, for all your insights, your prompts, your campaign, your demos. So that was super insightful. I hope you guys enjoy this webinar. Never heard of the Swarm before, but this is really cool and great in combo with Clay Cloud LGM. Thanks a lot. That's great. Thank you very much,
Thank
AJ.
you.
And also, yeah, Richard, can you just drop your LinkedIn or your Substack maybe also in the chat, because Richard is a super expert. If you need help, I think you can reach out to him on LinkedIn, and a lot of use case. And he's a user of LGM and the Swarm, and when he share his use case anytime, it's like super impressive. So yeah, this is also a good way to be updated, following him in on La Growth Machine, and you are publishing great content, so that's cool. And yes, so last time, if you want to try the Swarm, you have the link just here again. um okay, here we go. So you can try it for 2 weeks. If you need to try La Growth Machine during 1 month for free instead of 2 weeks, you can use this link. This is Christmas, a little bit longer. and yes, thank you very much for all your questions. Thank you very much, Oliver and Richard. And maybe you want to add something before to go.
Thank you for having us. It was great. Love the questions. Please, like, yeah, add me on LinkedIn. If you try to Swarm, there's no credit card required up front or anything. It's like two weeks. And then if you're an agency, like if you work with other customers that may benefit from this, like we built an agency partner program, and we give like those like 10,000 API credits every month for your own agency for your own use case, for your own growth,
Great.
uh, and to demo to clients. So we'd love to partner with agencies as well. That's definitely like where we love working with agencies. So thanks again, Eloise. Amazing.
Uh, with pleasure,
Yeah.
Richard.
And thanks again, everyone, for the questions and your attention. I know there's a lot going on that you could be doom scrolling on, but appreciate you spending the last 50 minutes with us. I work best with companies that have a large pipeline and need help understanding who to prioritize and what to say next. And we do this by taking insights from the best customers to build a high velocity go-to-market playbook. And so feel free to reach out if you have a problem like that.
Great. Thank you very much. A lot of thank you in the chat. Very informative. Thanks. Thank you. Cheers, everyone. And see you in a while. I run this kind of webinar every week with different experts. So yeah, see you in a while and have a good night, good morning, good evening, depending in where you are settling in the world. But yeah, see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.